Wellington Harbour was flat and calm for our sailing to Picton. The cruise ships were arriving on an overcast but warm morning. We had the MGA all ready to go, luggage squeezed into every corner. The Cook Strait crossing takes approximately 3 hours on a good day, and today was a very good day. We were in fact on the spare ship as the Kaitoki had a broken gearbox. It was parked just over to our right. The cruise ships were enjoying Wellington Harbour. The tourists always love Wellington. It's a lovely place to visit. The entrance to Marlborough Sounds is narrow and treacherous, but on a beautiful day like today it shows off the beauty of Marlborough Sounds. Cruising the inner Marlborough Sounds is one of life's true pleasures, on a nice day like today anyway. We arrived in Blenheim and went straight to Brayshaw Park. Many people had already arrived and the car park was filling up with nice cars and old friends. Craig Hickson and his MGTF welcomes us to the rally. Kate and Peter were on the reception desk and gave us all the supplies we needed for the rally. The car park soon filled up with T-types, a lovely sight. The next day we went back to Picton for the Concours. Picton Harbour was at its very best, still beautiful, light pouring over the green hills of Picton. Other things to admire were the J2 of Peter Croft and the lovely K1 that everyone looks at and everyone admires. Both cars certainly attracted their fair share of admirers during the day. Picton was the location for the Concours. It was a beautiful day and the harbour made a lovely backdrop for the cars. Peter Croft, the Godfather, welcomed everyone to the event himself. Here's Pat O'Connell in his 1932
Morning, Pat.
MG F-Type. Pat's had the car and enjoyed the car for many years. A dove grey MGTF with a red soft top looked very nice. Michael Anderson in one of Gary Wall's cars. Here we have him in a TA Tickford. Wayne Kirby in the MG VA, one of the most beautiful cars here on the day, beautifully restored and well driven. The MG VA, SA and WA range was brought on by MG's management at Abington as a response to the executive board wanting a more saleable, a more usable day-to-day car than perhaps some of the earlier cars that might have been a bit racy. These cars sold extremely well, even at a higher price. Wayne Marsh in an MG TC that he's modified himself. MG is in its 100th year. 2024 and 25 are the designated celebrating years, so it was good to have Pat here in his very early MG M-Type. T-Types were in good demand and well enjoyed by everyone on the rally, a very good display of T-Types. This TC was beautifully restored and admired by lots of people. You can't beat a shiny red sports car. Gary Wall's MG TD. The MGAs made a good lineup in the side car park and were all set up for the concourse judging. The next day was the trial. We see here Ian and his mother Gay Baxter getting ready for the trial. It was a lovely day, quite fine, and the roads were lovely to drive on, but somehow the cars all seemed to get wet. Here's Pat Widdop going for the first swim. And there's Pat happy to show us how it's done. Next up was Ian Baxter in the MGA DeLuxe showing us how not to do it. Sorry Ian, but it didn't quite go to plan, did it?
Give it a rev!
Everyone's an expert on the sideline. The mistake was soon corrected and Gay went on to do very well on the trial. Most T-types seem to do the river crossing with no trouble at all. A bit of fun and it's all good, fresh, clean water. Some people hesitated. Other people simply drove straight across like it was no problem at all to a fine little MG sports car. Here's the Douglases in the TC. They've driven all around the world, didn't even notice the river, hardly slowed down. It might be fine for a sports car. How is it for a big MG saloon? Surely it can't cross the river as easily as a sports car. But of course, it's an MG, and an MG can take you anywhere safely, securely, and comfort and reliability. And this 1939 WA got its feet only slightly wet driving across the river. On the trial, we stopped at many venues. This place had a beautiful view. A view to die for, you could say. This is Monkey Bay. We stopped here to get some answers to some questions and to enjoy the historical interest of the little bay. The next day the cars went back to Brayshaw Park, making a fine line up in front of the various club rooms. Today was called a gymkhana. It had various driving tests in it, measuring the size of your car through pegs, and even one competition for how slow you could go. Here you had to pick how wide your car was. Sounds simple? Here's Ross Armstrong showing us how it's done. The car was very carefully measured and the results calculated against other competitors. You had to line up the stick with the radiator. Not as easy as it sounds, especially in an MGA. Ross Armstrong, well-known racing driver, here having to go slow.
So you just let it run on its rev counter, George.
So this is very unusual for Ross Armstrong. He's doing a slow race.
Yeah, he's doing about 4 miles an hour.
The man has spent his life going fast, now has to go slow.
I'll probably set the idle too high. Right.
Pat O'Connell has been coming to the rallies for years and always seems to end up helping people out with problems with their cars. Pat's always fixed the problems and he's always enjoyed driving the F-Type. This part was a regularity. You had to drive round the course twice at exactly the same speed and time. This was a challenge. You had to drive up to where you thought the gate was going to open, and the test was to get as close to where the gate would swing to as you could. Quite a challenge.
You reckon that's as close as you'll be able to get to it?
And some cars got even closer than the MG TF did. But that was certainly a good try. Brayshaw Park was built on an old rubbish tip and the land was made available to the community by the council. Lots of different clubs have their club rooms here. It's really a very, very good asset to the Blenheim community. Well done, council.
Oh, is this guy on the right? Is this us? No, you're right over there.
The next night was the prize-giving dinner. The Godfather was only too happy to hand out prizes and to give us answers to the questions he'd asked in the previous day's trial. Gary Wall won the Godfather Award for bringing so many cars to the rally and supporting the pre-56 movement over such a long time. The trophy was quickly put in a cardboard box and taken away before it hurt anyone.
With the paintwork in 1932. Please identify them. Number one, and Pat had a huge difficulty with it, this answer. It was an F-type. This point I would say contributes to Greg Martin and a few others. Your cars are really, really nice.
So, in the second place in the Concours.
Well, that was another very successful pre-56 rally. Our Cook Strait ferry crossing was cancelled and that caused a bit of drama at the last minute. But we managed to get onto the boat after having to sit in the queue for several hours. Just a reminder, the next pre-56 rally will be in Palmerston North. I hope you've enjoyed the video. If you have, tick like, tick subscribe. More videos coming along very soon.